Breathing. We do it without thinking, yet it holds the secret to our deepest moments of awareness. If we pause to truly feel our breath, something incredible happens. A shift occurs, and suddenly, we're awake in a way we weren't just moments before. The truth is, we've been breathing all along, but rarely do we connect with the power of each inhale and exhale. In this transformative practice, Eckhart Tolle invites us to reclaim the forgotten art of conscious breathing, where each breath becomes a bridge to presence, awareness, and peace. You might find that you need to come back to presence more often as you begin to live more mindfully. One way to achieve this is to focus on your breathing. Another is to enter the body directly. Still another is to let your breath guide you into the body. A minute will do. I often tell people that just taking a deep breath is a meditation in and of itself. A single conscious breath entails inhaling and exhaling only once. It takes roughly 15 or 20 seconds to take a conscious breath. The length differs from one individual to the next, and I haven't bothered to count it. Typically, when you're breathing subconsciously, your breath is shorter than when you're consciously breathing. However, this changes when you take a conscious breath. For the most part, you're breathing without even realizing it. Remembering to breathe is completely unnecessary. Failing to do so will hasten your demise. Your breathing is an internal process. While it's true that you can control and deepen your breathing, beyond those two options, you really don't have much say in the subject. In my opinion, no one has ever decided to end their own life by stopping breathing. No, not yet. So, even though the small miserable creature wants to die, you still have it in you. Some part of you wants to keep on living, and you're powerless to stop it. Even though breathing happens automatically, becoming aware of it is one of the oldest spiritual disciplines that can be traced back to the Buddhist time and beyond. It's amazing how a seemingly little action may change the way you see time. The environment becomes more bearable as you focus on your breathing. All of a sudden, your thoughts become clear, and the weight of your obligations and duties appears to lift, if only for a fleeting second. In that split second of awareness, it's as if you've entered a realm of tranquility, far from the cacophony of racing thoughts. True change starts in that quiet, when you bring your attention back to the here and now with each breath. Reminding yourself that you are more than the mental chatter is as easy as taking a few deep breaths. You are the stillness that watches everything unfold. Typically, when you're breathing subconsciously, your breath is shorter than when you're consciously breathing. However, this changes when you take a conscious breath. For the most part, you're breathing without even realizing it. Remembering to breathe is completely unnecessary. Failing to do so will hasten your demise. Your breathing is an internal process. While it's true that you can control and deepen your breathing, beyond those two options, you really don't have much say in the subject. Although you have no say over your breathing, it is this very act that can set you free. One way to find inner calm is to pay attention to the way your breath moves through your body. Consciously breathing invites a moment of surrender, even in the face of overwhelming or tense feelings. When you let go of your need to be in charge, you make room for the natural flow of life. This isn't about imposing mental tranquility. Rather, it's about making room for inner quiet to arise. It's a kind request that you let go of all that you think you should be in control of. In my opinion, no one has ever decided to end their own life by stopping breathing. No, not yet. So, even though the small, miserable creature wants to die, you still have it in you. Some part of you wants to keep on living, and you're powerless to stop it. Even though breathing happens automatically, becoming aware of it is one of the oldest spiritual disciplines that can be traced back to the Buddha's time and beyond. At most minimum, not only is mindful breathing an old practice, but it is also a powerful means of connecting with one's inner self. It brings you back to the reality that you are alive and in the here and now by bringing you into your body and the present moment. A lot of people suffer from a sense of detachment from themselves, other people, and the world at large. 5 seconds of mindful breathing can help with that. Just by pausing to observe your breath, you can bring yourself into a state of profound spiritual awakening. It is a simple reminder that you are alive. As a result, when you bring awareness into harmony with your breath, your consciousness follows your breath. Just by breathing consciously, you can increase your level of awareness. Pay attention to the brief feeling of inhalation that lasts for a few seconds while you focus on this one deliberate breath. That remains a crucial element. The exhalation follows. Let's give it another go. The sensation between the two breaths, the in-breath and the out-breath, occurs in the abdominal area when your focus reaches it at the end of the in-breath. Right at the very end of your inhalation, just before your exhalation, you may feel the energy that is present. Because it's so relaxing, you might find yourself wanting to take a second deep inhale after just one. You could even go for 3. Do you have a moment to take 3 deep breaths? This is a great question to ask yourself while on the go. When is my next conscious breath due? 6 minutes from now? Very well, I am eager. Lastly, there's the time-honored human mentality's "I can't do it now, not now" excuse. This situation is somewhat complex. Stop bothering me. No way. That metaphysical stuff is for later, not now. My schedule is full. Are you blind? Of course, it's not true. Taking 3 deep breaths is not necessary unless you're in the middle of an emergency, such as when you need to perform first aid or go to the hospital. On the other hand, plenty of opportunities exist. The bare minimum is 1, but you might dig it, since, as I mentioned before, there's a huge qualitative leap from your regular state of consciousness to that very second. The power you've touched is palpable. It would be beneficial to take 2 or 3 breaths. How many seconds is 3? 1 minute? Or 1.5? I'm not sure. I am not going to measure it. However, doing it multiple times a day is a fantastic habit to get into. You can have both, but this is more effective than a lengthier meditation session once a day. However, whether you could only find time for 1 lengthy meditation session each day, or if you could practice mindfulness breathing multiple times throughout the day, the latter would have a greater impact on your state of consciousness. What matters most is that you incorporate moments of mindfulness and presence into your everyday life, rather than isolating yourself for meditation and living in a state of unconsciousness. All right, I need to meditate now. This is the renowned example of a family man. The day was awful for me. I must do it. After that, he retires to his study, where he is interrupted by the sound of a small voice calling out, "Daddy, Daddy," and the wise old man replies, "Oh, put it out of your mind. I am currently engaged in meditation." That is not the same as developed awareness. It isn't a part of daily life. By the way, if you're a regular meditator, and I assume you are, given the number of seasoned practitioners among you, and you stick to a consistent practice, eventually all of them lead to the same goal, the realization of your own being. As long as you don't make it feel like it needs to accomplish anything, that's great. Maybe it works. Thinking, "I need to achieve something," involves bringing in time, and that gets in the way of experiencing being, which is only accessible in the here and now. Because of this, the thought of, "Okay, I'm trying to get somewhere," is useless. You've arrived. There's no purpose in trying to go further. Well, you're kind of there already. Yeah, you totally are. Indeed I am. I am as well. If anything interrupts your meditation, you must quickly find a way to incorporate it into your practice. It might be anything: a distressing sound, a bodily sensation, a slight ache, etc. When you're meditating, you could hear a variety of noises. They seamlessly integrate into the meditation practice. Imagine, for the sake of argument, that you are meditating outdoors when a pneumatic drill goes off. It is one of the most dreadful sounds imaginable. You would gladly incorporate the sound into your meditation if you are an accomplished meditator. It doesn't make any kind of fuss. Next, you become the Buddha. To live in complete awareness, all you need is conscious breathing, which is more than just a meditation technique. Taking a few deep breaths at strategic intervals throughout the day might help you refocus your attention, calm your racing thoughts, and see things more clearly. It's more about enjoying the simplicity of being present than about striving for perfection. Your entire outlook on life, including your emotional and mental states, will undergo a metamorphosis as you make mindful breathing a regular part of your regimen. One way to start this process is by disengaging from technology at lunchtime and dinner time. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to continue on your journey of self-discovery and live more in the present moment. Leave a comment saying "now" if you felt this message spoke to you and would like to keep growing in the future. Feel free to hit the like button or share this video with someone you think could use a little nudge to be more present and attentive.